Hello everyone, I am Annu from the group number 316. I am here to discuss some topic. So we should start next, okay? So my topics are topic number 9.6 and 10.7, that are coupling of the chemical reaction to transport of matter and molecular reception. Okay, we should start next with molecular reception. Molecular reception is the molecular recognition, is the specific interaction between two or more molecules which exhibit molecular compatibility through non-covalent bonding with the hydrogen bonding and normal metal coordination, electrostatic interaction, van der Waals forces. In this, a molecule or transmitter is released, and it reception is taken by the receptor. Okay, the reception of the external signal by the sense organs includes many receptors like visual sensing receptors, hearing sensing, and the taste receptors. Okay, insects also use specific type of pheromones for their messages for other molecules to recognize its stimuli. Okay, the high sensitivity of the smell receptors indicates the odor. We will talk about here we will talk about two molecular reception, that is smell and the taste, and further visual and the hearing reception we will take into next videos. Okay, higher sensitivity of the smell receptor indicates odor and transmitted of the molecule. The threshold concentration of the uh, odorous substances are sent by the man are the scatol or the ethyl mercaptan and the tributyl toluene. The odor substance must be liquefied and embedded. They must be vaporizable in the aqueous environment and must stick to the membrane. Okay, in molecular reception of the smell and the taste involves specialized sensory organs that allow the organism to detect or respond to the chemical stimuli in their environment. For example, molecular reception of the smell. First, we need the olfactory receptors. They are primarily located in the olfactory epithelium in the nasal cavity. Over 400 different types of the olfactory receptors in the neurons are responsive to specific odorant molecules. These receptors are the G protein coupled receptors that are bind to the odorant molecules and release the secondary messenger to excite the further stimulus. So the receptors can be proteins, nucleic acid, or other molecules. They can be of two types: cell surface receptors on the intercellular receptor. Cell surface receptors stick to the surface, then initiate the secondary response, and the intercellular receptors fuse with the membrane and go to the intramolecular content of the cell. Okay, then the signal transduction process occurs. There are different type of the signals that are conducted by the hormones, neurotransmitters, or the pheromones. Specificity and affinity. There are different type of signals that are transmitted for the different type of the receptors, and for the different every type receptor has every type of the receptors has different type of the molecules for their reception. Okay, they are very specific. Desensitization and adaptation. Prolonged exposure to a ligand can lead to the desensitization of receptors where the receptor response diminishes. Okay, the understanding molecular reception is very crucial in the pharmacology for the drug development, and many drugs target specific receptors to elicit the desired effects. Okay, mechanism of detection. The binding and the binding of the odorant molecule enter into the nasal cavity. They dissolve in the mucus and bind to the olfactory receptors. Then the signal transduction that we have talked earlier here also, and the binding activates the association of the G proteins, leading to the opening of the ion channels, and the depolarization of the take place. Then it generates the action potential. Then action potential further reach to the brain regions that process the olfactory information, that this, there is a sense of smell is there. Mm, then it is, and then it is where the olfactory neuron snaps, then it lead to the adaptation and the sensitivity. Taste receptors, then we will talk about next to the taste receptors. Taste receptor located in the taste buds, on the tongue and other areas of the oral cavity. Five basic taste, like salt, sweet, bitter, and contain about okay, so sensory, sorry. Each taste buds contain approximately 50 to 100 taste receptors respond to specific taste. And so they are sweet, and for the sorry effect there is T1 TR2 T1 R3, and these are the taste receptors. Ion channels are also present for salty, and the T2 are receptors for bitter taste. So this is we talked about the taste receptors. Further we talk about the coupling of the chemical reaction to the transport of the matter. Okay, so coupling of the chemical reaction to the transport of the matter. Coupling of the chemical reaction is fundamental concept in the field like chemistry, biochemistry, chemical engineering. It describes how the chemical processes are influenced by the interaction uh, and the movement of the particular atoms, ions, and the molecules. Transport mechanism of many types, by like diffusion, convection, advection. Okay, diffusion is the movement of the ions from the high concentration to the low concentration. Convection is the bulk movement of the fluid, often due to the temperature or the pressure gradient differences between present across the two specific containers. Okay, advection is the transfer of substances by the flow of a fluid. Okay, we transport of the substances needs reaction kinetics. The rate of the chemical reaction can be affected by the concentration of the reactants, which are influenced by their transport from reaction sites. The coupling in the biological systems. In the biological contexts, enzymes and the enzyme catalyzed reactions are often coupled with the transfer of substances across the cell membranes, a process critical for the metabolic functions. Convection is the transport of the flow by the temperature or the pressure gradients. It enhances the nutrition transport and the waste products excretion, impacting overall the reaction rates in the tissues and organs to the further transport of the bulk fluid movements. The intracellular dynamics within the cell. The movement of the biomolecules is often influenced by the cytosolian structures, the molecular motors, which facilitates the transport of enzymes, substrates, and ensuring the efficient biochemical reactions. Okay, the metabolic networks regulated by these are mm, associated with the regulation of by the chemical rates and the transport mechanism that control substrate ability. Coupling is very important in the process like catalysis, pollutant degradation, material synthesis, where both reactions and transport phenomena must be considered effective process and control. So we talked this about two topics. We will further talk about more topics in next other videos. So goodbye, take care, and revise these topics and learn everything.